Scary facts that you're gonna wish you never heard. Whenever you take a dip in the ocean, you're basically swimming in a huge graveyard. It's been estimated that throughout history, hundreds of thousands, if not millions of people have died in the ocean. And in the United States, over 1,600 people have gone missing in national parks. And just in case you needed any more nightmare fuel, here's a video of a massive huntsman spider shedding its skin. And I didn't even know that these things could do that.
Here's some of the most disturbing things found in food. Every Halloween, parents should be checking their kids' Halloween candy for any signs of being tampered with. It may sound like an urban legend to find foreign objects in Halloween candy, but it is very real. A boy from Spokane, Washington got back from trick-or-treating and was ready to dig into his treats. But when he bit into one of his candies, he felt something sharp poke his cheek, only to discover a rusty nail hidden inside. Luckily, he did not get tetanus and he was relatively unharmed. The mother opened the rest of his candy only to discover many other metal objects hidden within his candy.
This is how rare you are compared to the rest of the world. Only 1% of the whole population can swallow 3 times in a row. If you could do it 4 times, Superman, that you? And if you could do it 5 times, well, you can't, because it's basically impossible. I bet you didn't know that there is considered to be a rarest zodiac sign. And that sign is actually Aquarius, so if you're in that, good job. Only 10% of people around the entire world have Morton's toe. Essentially, your index toe is larger than your thumb toe. Even crazier, only 5% of the population's tongues are tied. Question, have you ever walked outside and immediately started sneezing? Well, you're kind of rare because 25% of the population sneeze from sunlight. And just 1% higher with 26% of people having a narrator in their head. It'll be like a constant voice that you can't shut off. A voice that you hear when you think. Also, less than 1% of people have unbreakable bones. I swear this is next to superhuman. Not really sure how you'd figure out if you have this, so don't. And finally, less than 1% of people can hear colors and see sounds. Please let me know if you have any of these in the comments because I need to know. Elon!
Here's some of the scariest things that have been caught on camera. In this video, some urban explorers decide to explore an abandoned mental asylum when they encountered something they'll never forget. While exploring, they found the usual things that would be in an abandoned building, like graffiti, peeling paint, and scattered trash. But when they entered a certain corridor, they seen something horrifying. There was a thin figure with long hair slowly creeping around the corner at the end of the corridor before it gets up and charges the group, causing them to flee. Some people say it's a creature, but if you look closely, you can see that the figure is wearing shoes, so it's most likely a very skinny person. Is this a homeless man occupying the building? Is it an old patient that returned to their prior residence? Or is this figure something else entirely?
There's something wrong with my wife. And why is there a door in my home that's always been locked? Let's talk about the full story of the extremely disturbing horror game, She's Still Alive. Massive spoilers ahead, but of course I have the full playthrough of the game on my channel. The game starts with our character Hare waking up in a panic about his wife Bunny. But it's okay, she's right next to him still alive, so he can calm down. We try to start the day with some food, but she isn't hungry. She's always complaining about her stomach hurting. We get the sense that these characters are going through a lot. They barely leave the home. And Hare is super protective of Bunny. She's not allowed to leave the house at all. But the anxiety and the panic return as we realize that Bunny has locked herself in our bedroom. Here's a warning from this point on, very disturbing content ahead. We open the door and Bunny has taken her life. Or has she? We wake up again the next day and she's there, still alive. It is then that the game gets into a very disturbing cycle. In this cycle, we keep finding her dead in different ways. We find missing posters of Bunny created by us, and we also meet a neighbor complaining about the smell around our home. We can't worry about what's happening now though because we have to take care of Bunny. And then everything changes when she asks us to play hide and seek. A grotesque version of Bunny appears at our door. We are flooded by disturbing imagery of her being dead. We open the locked door and reveal the truth that Bunny has been dead for a very long time. Hare simply could not accept that she was gone, and the game ends with him still refusing to accept it.
I'm about to ruin your childhood, part 19. Walt Disney didn't like Jewish people, abused women, was a racist as well. The voice of Elmo was a predator that targeted minors. Mr. Mosby went to jail for killing a 21-year-old with his car while intoxicated. The lion costume from The Wizard of Oz was made with real lion fur. Dr. Seuss was a racist who abused his wife who had cancer, who eventually killed herself because of it.
I bet you're scared of this animatronic. This is the It Pennywise animatronic from Unit 70's Studios. The video at the end is so much worse. I had to edit it because if you've seen it or if you've read the book, you know what happens in this area, but the video doesn't have that. Anyway, this thing is absolutely terrifying. Also, yes, it's holding little Georgie, and Georgie's screaming at the top of his lungs in the video. It's so creepy. It's a little animatronic, but it's so scary. The animatronic of Pennywise himself is 12 feet tall. That is if you take a 6 foot tall person and times 2 it. That is terrifying. Also, like, why did they make him look like the Predator? Like, this is gorgeous. It's an awesome animatronic. I would honestly be terrified to go anywhere near this thing. And yes, I am repping Pennywise right now. Watch this video and let me know what you're thinking. And are you scared of this animatronic? I bet you are. Let me know down below.
Your life does actually get shorter as you grow up. As you get older and older, you realise that the years become faster and faster and time just is speeding up non-stop. That's thanks to this chart, and most of you have already lived about 60% of your life. This is going to blow your flipping socks off, but we have experienced 70% of our entire life by the time you are 21. But 50% of your entire life by just age 5. Like, what? You're probably wondering, if 50% of your life is before you're 5, why don't you remember that part of your life? You don't actually start building stable memories until you're around 5 years old and gain consciousness, so everything before that's pretty much just wiped off. As we age, each year becomes a smaller percentage of how much time you've actually lived, of course. For example, when you're 50, that 1 year to 51 would be, say, 2% of your life. But when you're around 10 years old, 2% of your life would only be about 2 or 3 months. So 2 months to a 10-year-old would feel the same as 1 year to a 50-year-old, which you can imagine, like, when you've all been kids, time felt a lot longer. Think of your brain as a storage device. It only has a certain capacity that it always has to get rid of things and memories to stay at that. And it is true, once people get to 20 or 30 years old and they start saying life is just flashing by and before they know it, they're in a retirement home, it's true.
This is by far the most devastating documentary I've seen this year. It's called The Perfect Neighbor, and it tells the story of Susan Lorenz, who shot and killed her next-door neighbor, Ajika, because her kids were playing near her yard. The whole documentary is told just through body cam footage. It really wants the viewer to be almost impartial as you watch these events unfold. So you get to see how for years Susan would call 911 to report the kids in the neighborhood that were playing near the property that she was renting. And the film ultimately climaxes with Susan setting up a stand your ground situation where she shoots a neighbor through a door claiming self-defense. Even though she had already called 911 10 minutes prior, the police were already on their way, and no one else in the neighborhood heard Ajika say that she was going to kill Susan. Now, some publications have called out the film for being exploitative, especially during scenes like the body cam footage where you see Ajika's children learn in real time that their mother has passed away. But what I found really interesting is the outpouring of support for the documentary from people closest to Ajika. Her own son, who's featured heavily in the documentary, even came forward saying thank you to the people who were watching. Her cousin and one of the neighbors came forward too, saying that while this is not something they could ever watch again because of just the trauma of it, they are happy that people are watching it, and it's not for entertainment. Like, this should be a deeply uncomfortable watch for everyone who views it.
This 13-year-old consumed his classmate just out of pure curiosity. 13-year-old Youssef was from Egypt, and he was really into violent films and online games. In October of 2025, he lured his classmate Mohammed to his family's apartment. Youssef made it seem like they were just going to hang out together, but sadly that was not the case. As the two were in the apartment together, Youssef grabbed a wooden stick and attacked Mohammed with it and kept hitting him in the head until he died. Youssef then found an electric saw that belonged to his father and began cutting his body into pieces. He then placed the dismembered remains in bags and scattered them all across Egypt, including behind a shopping center, a nearby pool, an open field, and even underneath a bridge. A complete stranger had come across one of these bags and they had reported it to police, and once police arrived at the scene, they started a large-scale investigation. Once Youssef realized that he was going to be caught very soon, he ended up confessing to police that he was the one who did this. During questioning, Youssef stated that him and Mohammed had an argument during school, and this is what started it all. He also revealed that he watched scenes in violent films and online games and wanted to recreate it. Youssef described to police what exactly happened that day. He stated he first struck Mohammed with a wooden stick, then grabbed his father's electric saw so that he could dismember his body into smaller parts so that he could fit it into his backpack before he scattered the body parts around the city. He also admitted to police that he had eaten a small part of Mohammed's flesh and stated it tasted like breaded chicken. Youssef was transferred to a juvenile care facility for 7 days while the case was still being reviewed. Authorities also ordered a full psychological evaluation and drug testing on Youssef. As of right now, the investigation is still ongoing, so we shall see what happens with Youssef.
About During Your Childhood, Part 46. The toys all died in Toy Story. The kids would have no idea, and they would continue to play with them like normal. Then that means all the other toys would be forced to play with their friends' dead bodies.
This is not fake, and if you do this, your head is literally about to look like this. Now, if you like playing video games at all, you're probably going to want to watch this because this ain't good. A while ago, scientists depicted what the future gamer's going to look like, and this is you, I guess. Showing people with hunchbacks, weird body features, but there's a main thing on their head. Essentially a big line, like an indent in their head from where they're wearing their headsets all the time, and well, it's come true. A few Twitch streamers a while ago have already noticed they've got this, first one being Curtis, who shaved his head on livestream and literally saw the indent in his head. This then sparked a lot of other gamers to come out, try the same thing, and well, you can see the results right there. Of course, what's caused this is from wearing the headset like all day, and I mean, you can kind of see how that would happen. So if you're in school, you come home and you play games all night, maybe you even have one. Hopefully not, but maybe you do. This has now, over the past few months, become a pretty big thing with a lot of people actually having this. Now, of course, it's not dangerous, it's not gonna kill you, it's just not the best thing to have, I guess. But if you're just playing games every now and again, don't worry, it's not gonna happen. This happens over quite a long time span. But from what people have been saying as well, once you take the headset off and you don't use it for a while, it does just kind of go away.
Top 3 paranormal 911 calls. An anonymous 911 dispatcher said that they received a 911 call where a woman had stated that she took a selfie with her boyfriend. When her and her boyfriend looked at the photo, they saw an unknown man standing behind them in the photo. The call was treated as a home invasion, so a ton of officers were sent out, but they never found anyone else in the home and no sign of a forced entry. The police officers even saw the photo and confirmed that they saw someone in the background. In 1996, a homeowner in Kitsap, Washington, made 2 911 calls. In the first call, he had reported that something killed his dog. He described the dog as being thrown or flying over his fence. 2 weeks later, that same caller reported seeing a large dark figure in his yard. The audio of the call circulated among Bigfoot researcher groups, with many people claiming that it was Bigfoot.
911, what are you reporting?
We got someone or something crawling around out here.
Did you see what it was? Was it a person or an animal or?
I can't tell. All I know is that my central light came on and I just happened to glimpse and see this thing running across the yard. A good-sized man, or something that looks like a man. I don't know what it was, just that it ran across the yard.
Okay. You've had problems in the neighborhood before?
Yeah, my dog was killed here just recently. I don't know what it was. Whatever it is, it's running. I couldn't catch it if I was going to chase it. But whatever it was standing up. I'm out here looking through the window now and I don't see anything. I don't want to go outside. Jesus Christ, you better...
Sir?
See up!
Hello?
Get somebody out here.
What's going on now, sir?
That son of a bitch is about 6'9", I don't know.
Do you see him now, sir?
Yes, I'm looking right at him.
Uh-oh. Okay, hang on.
He's right...
Is he in your yard, sir?
Yeah, God, he's big.
Okay, what's he doing in your yard?
He's looking at me.
Oh, and the guy is on foot.
I don't know what... It's a big, real big person. That's all I can say.
Okay, but it is a person.
Yeah, I'd say it was a person, somebody really big. But he's all in black.
Is he a black male or a white male? Did you actually see whether, or was he just wearing black?
He's all black and he's big. He is big.
In 2016, a 911 dispatcher in Pueblo, Colorado, got a chilling call from a local funeral home at 3 a.m. in the morning. When they answered, the line went dead. Dispatchers tried calling back, and this time, someone picked up. But all they heard was static, no voices. Officers rushed to the scene, but when they arrived, the building was locked, completely dark, and no one was inside. Others say that when you listen to the call, you can hear some voices in the background.
This is Erica. How can I help you? Hello? Hello? Hello?
She declined his marriage proposal, and so he snapped her neck and then gouged out her eyes. I'm True Crime Caitlin, and this is the murder of Tara Serino. In 1999, Fred and Sandy Serino decided to adopt a 2-year-old little girl named Tara. They already had 2 of their own biological children, named Jeffrey and Camille, both of whom were older than Tara, and so Tara became the baby of the family, and she completed the family for the Serinos. The Serinos being a devoted Catholic family living in Lehigh County, Pennsylvania. Tara would be described as being very artistic, imaginative, free-spirited and creative. She was one of these people who just had a bright aura around them. She had a very positive outlook in the world. However, as she grew older into her teen years, she began struggling with her mental health. As an escape, she started dabbling in things such as Satanism and the occult. She was very interested in crystals, tarot cards and spirituality, and it's believed that this is how she crossed paths with Christopher Ryan Tucker. On the 30th of October 2017, just after 12:30 a.m, Tara told her father Fred that she was going out, she was going to a friend's house, and she would ring him later on to let him know that she was alright. And so Fred sat awaiting a phone call that never came. Tara would travel to Christopher's home on Roth Road in Albany Township, which was about 25 minutes away from her home. The two were strictly friends/friendly with each other, and they would meet up every now and then to hang out. But unbeknownst to 19-year-old Tara, 34-year-old Christopher had developed an obsession with her. So you can imagine the shock that Tara felt when on this evening, Christopher got down on one knee and proposed to her, asking Tara to marry him. Tara said no and told Christopher that she was seeing/sleeping with other men, and upon hearing this, instead of taking it on the chin, Christopher saw red. He wrapped his hands around Tara's neck and strangled her until she fell unconscious. Then, in order to ensure that she was dead, that he had killed her, Christopher then snapped her neck before gouging out her eyes and beating her body with a hatchet. Tara's body would then be wrapped up in a rug and hidden inside of Christopher's house, specifically in his bedroom. Meanwhile, the Serinos were sick with worry. Tara was always the type of person where she kept in touch with her family to make sure that they knew that she was okay. And after they hadn't heard from her for a couple of days, she wasn't picking up the phone, she wasn't ringing them back. It got to the 1st of November when they were going to wait no longer, and so they contacted the police and reported her missing. Officers began tracking down her last known location, which led them directly to Christopher's house. However, when they arrived there, Christopher was nowhere to be seen. He had already fled, travelling almost 750 miles out of the state of Pennsylvania and making his way to Illinois. While here, he would actually get arrested at a truck stop after he was reported to have been acting erratically. And during questioning, he would end up completely confessing to the murder of Tara Serino. Christopher Ryan Tucker would be arrested and charged with criminal homicide, first-degree murder, and aggravated assault. In September 2021, he would receive a life sentence.
This is part 2 on what happened to Dulce Vana and how she was killed by her own friend. So it turns out that Dulce was with her friend Antonio the day she disappeared, and Antonio is not a good person at all. Investigators learned that he had a history of harassing young girls on social media. His Facebook friend list had almost 4,000 people, mostly teenage girls, and just random people that he didn't know. He would add random girls, flirt with them on Facebook, try to get their attention, and when they ignored him, he would lash out in rage. Multiple girls came out after Dulce's death, sharing messages that he had sent them after they didn't answer him. One of these messages read, quote, "When you end up lying on the side of the road, not even the dogs will eat you." Yeah, what even is that message? He would threaten to beat these girls to the point that their faces would be disfigured. He would insult them and send them disturbing, explicit photos from fake accounts. So he was just a horrible guy. I mean, as soon as a girl rejected him, he would just completely transform. And again, these were just random girls that he would add on Facebook. He didn't even know them. Investigators also discovered that Antonio had tried to start a relationship with Dulce multiple times, but that she had always made it clear to him that she only wanted to be friends. Her sister Anaí recalls warning her about Antonio, saying that he was a user and that he was older than her. But at the end of the day, she was kind of okay with the friendship because on the surface, he did appear to be nice and treated Dulce well. You know, he would send her food and water and give her snacks when she would be working or studying and things like that. So to the family, it seemed like this was like a normal friendship. Through evidence, investigators believe that on December 10th, Antonio made a pass at Dulce. She rejected him, and because of this, Antonio attacked her, essayed her, killed her, and then burned her body to try to destroy any evidence, all because she rejected him. It's just so disappointing. When all of this came to light, there were actually people defending him online. Some of his friends even made a Facebook group to support him, saying things like, quote, "Whether you're a murderer or not, you'll still be one of my best friends." Others made cruel comments about Dulce, victim blaming her, joking about her death, and writing really disgusting things such as, "The only goal you didn't accomplish was staying alive." It's horrendous, and even Antonio's own father reportedly took part in some of these conversations, mocking Dulce's family online after having been the one who turned his son in at the start. Yes, it was Antonio's own father who turned him in. So apparently Antonio confessed to his dad that he had killed Dulce and even asked for his help to bury her body. Now, his dad didn't help him and instead went straight to the police station to report what his son had done. It seemed like his father wanted to help Dulce's family get justice and get closure, but now he retracted his statement to the police and was allegedly participating in the online hate towards Dulce and her family. It just made no sense. Authorities initially charged Antonio with femicide, but later reduced it to, quote, "participation in a crime due to lack of evidence since her body was burned beyond recognition." And court hearings dragged on for years, delaying the trial again and again. However, in March of 2022, there was some movement in the case, but it wasn't good news. Antonio had been sentenced to just 5 years in prison. 5 years. 5 years for ending a 16-year-old girl's life and burning her body. Dulce's family was completely shattered with the sentencing. Her sister Anaí said, quote, "He'll get out and he'll do it again because his father pays for lawyers and because the system allows it." Dulce's family is now forced to live with the fact that he will get out while he is still young and possibly hurt someone again. It's just so infuriating. But, you know, they're trying their best to move forward. Now, instead of celebrating her birthday, her sister Anaí honors Dulce with a Dia de los Muertos altar every every year, remembering her and fighting so other families don't have to experience this pain. Dulce was only 16 years old. She was a daughter, a sister, a friend, and a bright young girl who wanted to study, build her future, and live her life. She did everything right. She told her family where she was going, she left when it was still daylight, and she left with a trusted friend. And yet, she still never came home. Instead, her life was taken by someone who couldn't handle rejection. Parents and guardians, please talk to your teens and young adults and teach them how to handle rejection in a healthy way. Watch for red flags, toxic behavior, and warning signs. My condolences go out to Dulce's loved ones, and I hope that she is resting peacefully. The full case is not up on my you-know-what yet, however, it will be in a couple of days, so if you guys do want to hear more about it, you guys know where to find me.